We are in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, site of the Green Party 2004 National Convention. And even though people talk a lot about this year Green Party, who they're going to run for president, a lot of the action is on the local level, where Greens have run for city council, school board, water board, etc. With us today from the Minneapolis City Council, Dean Zimmerman, sometimes known as Dean Zimmer Person.
Zimmer thing to you.
Everything to me. And he's been pretty active on the Rec and Parks Board in this community, on the City Council now, and just as an overall good guy. But Dean, something that isn't very good seems to be happening after you got elected. What's happening there?
Well, not too long after I was elected, we had redistricting, which of course is a normal process. But what happened was a grievous wrong inflicted upon the Green Party. We were trying to overturn this in a lawsuit that we have filed in federal court and is now running through the process, and that is a question of redistricting. We feel that the redistricting was significantly gerrymandered against the Green Party and against people of color in Minneapolis. And so what has happened is we have been left with the absurd situation of the only two blacks on the Minneapolis City Council are now going to be forced to run against one another. And one of those is Natalie Johnson Lee, of course, who is a Green Party member elected in the 2001 election. On the south side, in my ward, the 6th ward, was redistricted in such a way that I was put out of my ward by about 1,000 feet. And then the ward that I had represented was
you guys should hear this. Amazing.
Was given to another incumbent. So I'm faced with a situation that whether I stay where I am or whether I move back into the ward that I have been representing, I will be forced to run against another sitting incumbent. And it's probably no accident that this happened. This was done by a committee in which the chair of my opponent's campaign was on the redistricting committee that drew these lines. Wow. So that's why we are sending out a plea for funds. We've done a number of fundraisers to try to pay for this lawsuit, but we do need some help and are looking to the National Greens for support in this, because this has implications that are going to hurt the Green Party everywhere.
So let me get it clear. There were 2 Greens elected to the City Council in 2001. In the first redistricting after that happened, they've both been redistricted out of their districts into a new district where they have to run against the sitting incumbent.
Well, the one on the north side was a little bit different. This was a situation of packing in which they put as many blacks into one ward as possible. That's what the gerrymandering law is called, packing. Which means that you take any minority group and pack it into one ward, then it lessens their impact in surrounding wards. And so now we have that situation where 2 blacks have to run against one another on the north side.
It's kind of interesting that in your races, you have head-to-head races. You have a primary in September, a general election in November. Both of you ran head-to-head and beat Democrats.
That's correct.
In 2001.
I ran in a ward that is traditionally votes 80 to 85% Democrat. And so I was running not just against a candidate, but against the entire Democratic Party, since very many people in the ward just look and see whatever it says Democrat and vote for that. So I had to overcome that, but was successful. And Natalie Johnson Lee on the north side was able to defeat the sitting president of the City Council in her race.
So since they couldn't beat you, they changed the rules of the game.
You've got it. So they think it'll be easier probably to get rid of the new Green Party upstarts by redistricting in such a way as we are forced to run against other incumbents.
What does that say about the democracy in Minneapolis?
Well, this is the kind of thing you'd expect from Democrats.
But people have this image of Minneapolis and Minnesota being liberal and open-minded, and
well, that's an image. It doesn't necessarily fit with reality, but you know, there's high-stakes rules here, and I guess you would expect them to use whatever weapons they have to try to keep the emergence of the Green Party.
And what are the implications for this case beyond the borders of the Twin Cities?
Well, I think the implication is that gerrymandering can be stopped, and that the Greens are not going to roll over and play dead just because the Democrats, or in some cases the Republicans, pull out hardball tactics.
Dean Zimmerman, City Councilmember, Minneapolis, Patriot for Democracy.
Patriot for democracy.
Thanks, Dean.
Thank